That is just wonderful. What a lovely way to start the video. Right guys, well welcome down to swing analysis time. And because there's no tournaments on this week, because there are no winners on tour, we're doing some swing analysis of ourselves. Yes. We're winners in life.
We decided to go among us, try and do this task, which has proved to be quite difficult so far, only because of technical issues. But we are up and running here at Quest Golf Academy, and Pete's going to go through my golf swing.
Absolutely. So it's a chance to kind of for you guys to have a little bit of a closer look at our swings, and just have for us to have a little bit of a closer look at each other's swings as well. Because obviously we play with each other all the time, but we don't know. Stop it. We play golf with each other all the time, but we've not really had this opportunity to slow our swings down and have a really good close look. So that is what we're going to do, and that is a lovely shot to have a look at. Is that going to land on the line? Not far. So what are you hitting there, bud?
6. I hit my first one a bit toey actually.
6 iron. A wee bit toey. But no, that's pretty good. So first of all, if we'll have a look through your swing here. Now talk us through a little bit about what you're working on at this moment in time.
Peach has asked me this before off camera, and I literally said nothing because at the moment I'm not really working on a great deal. I don't often get super technical on myself. I often just kind of have little ideas in my swing that I try and build upon and work upon. If it works, I just kind of stick with it. I know as a rule I normally get a little bit inside. I normally hit big draws or I push it. I'm a fraction weak in my grip and try and strengthen it to neutralise it out a little bit, but mainly I just focus on good striking and just trajectory and ball flight, and just trying to reduce the amount of shaping on the golf shot as much as I can. Okay. That's my big thing. So strike and reducing shape on the ball. Okay.
So I think for certainly a long time, as far as the last year goes, I know a lot of your kind of swing thought process has been the feeling. I'm just trying to fade it.
Yeah, that's all I've been doing. And I don't think I've hit one yet, but getting closer. It's a weird one actually, because when I try and hit a fade, I'll aim left with my stance. I'll feel like I'm swinging across my body, but I just hit like little pushes. Yes. I hit pushes, which then end up going towards target because I've aimed to the left.
I mean, this was Rick's swing here. I mean, setup wise, very big, very strong, which is nice.
Big, thanks.
You're looking big and strong.
Thanks, buddy.
Again, that's probably digging myself into a little bit more of a hole, but you're looking solid.
Thank you.
You're looking really solid.
Grounded.
Solid, grounded.
Nothing's
I like
moving that bad boy.
No, nothing's shifting. So it's a really good solid setup, which I really, really like. Ball position is maybe a little bit, well, you've got 6 iron here, but I think camera perspective might be a little bit forward. So
it gets it a little bit back there, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it's looking fine. Arms hanging straight down from the shoulders, which is nice. You've got enough room there between the balls.
I generally feel I get too close. I feel too close. But most of my bad strikes are toey because I get a bit inside. So I'm always a bit reluctant to moving a bit further away because I feel like my strike would get worse.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a bit of a clue straight away. If you know that your strike's going to get worse, if you change something,
go off. Big things that we advocate when we coach anyway is that we should only get better before we get. We shouldn't ever get worse. We should only get better. And if I felt like I moved further away, I'd feel like I'd get worse.
Now takeaway. Now that's
the best I've ever seen it.
It's a hell of a lot better than it was. So that's nice.
I must have been known of being videoed there.
I mean, the general rule. I mean, you can have a look and read a lot into positions, but then again, they don't sometimes contribute towards what's happening at impact. But as far as your takeaway goes, bang in front of your hands.
As a general rule, I would get a little bit open there. I'd get toe in front of behind heel.
And I think that's pretty bang on.
That's the most neutral I've ever seen it.
Yeah, that's pretty bang on neutral. Then from there, the hands move up, which I quite like, straight in front of the right breast, so everything's nicely on plane.
Breast.
Now at the top, this is probably where I don't know. It's tricky, isn't it, when you're looking at someone else's swing, especially who's a pro.
Go for it.
Okay, so we're going to have to do a lot of work here. I think when we get to the top, it looks to me slightly on the steep side. Yeah. The right arm kind of comes up and away.
Yeah.
Left wrist, the left wrist and the club, they almost look open, but the left wrist is a lot less cupped than it usually is. So I think that's just mainly because it is more upright rather than actually rounded. So
yeah, I get quite cupped at the top, open the face a little bit. But I think again is to neutralise once I get so far on the inside. If I was super square at the top with my inside, I would just hit these big draws that would start on target and then go off target.
But if you have a look at that, I mean, I'm saying this, well, saying this cup, but it's again, it's in probably the best position that I think I've seen you in at the top of the swing.
Yeah, it's looking good there at the moment.
And certainly when you get to the top of the swing, is this you feeling like you're swinging short, by the way?
I think possibly not, but I'm not absolute fully warmed up as, you know, I'm not playing in t-shirt. I've got a few layers on. It feels like I'm a bit restricted. So that's a shorter swing that I would normally see, yes. Yeah. But I wasn't trying to be shorter. Because
we've had a big discussion between myself and Rick about how Rick's swing looks so much better when he's trying to chip it with any club.
It feels like a swing. When I swing it, what technically looks the best, when I swing, it feels like I'm only swinging there. The issue with it, I can't strike it to save my life in that position, because I then feel I have to try an awful lot harder to hit the ball the distance I'm aiming to hit it. Probably don't, I just have to get used to that feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see kind of on the halfway down here, again, it's kind of very much matching your backswing. It's still really on plane. It's looking,
that looks better than what I've seen it again.
I was going to say, you seem to be giving yourself quite a lot of negative energy.
I think you do, though, don't you? As the actual hitter, as the golfer itself, I feel like I know negative like that at the moment. You can see that. And can we pull up some GC2 numbers on that there, Pete?
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting to see. You can see the club position there halfway down. It gets just behind my hands as I approach the halfway down position there, and it just gets not so much stuck, but a little bit behind. So if we look at some GT2 figures on the last one, I hit from the inside by 4.5 degrees. No, it wasn't. Pull it up. Give it a click on the on where it says 4.5 minus there. Yeah. I was 7.3, sorry, I was looking at angle of attack. 7 degrees from the inside, which is too much. It's too much, way too much.
And that's obviously something that you've seen and known about in the past. And from a positional point of view, when you're looking on the camera here, you can see how the club head is inside the hands at this point. So you know that the club's going to be approaching from the inside, maybe just a little bit too much inside.
I think so.
And this, by the way, is obviously your feeling of the fade.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that one wasn't so much. That was quite. I'll hit another one in a minute. I reckon I can reduce that path number pretty quickly if I think about it.
So when you're coming from that much from the inside, you know that the club face has to close to path if you want to draw it back.
If you go back on those numbers again there, Pete, GC2, it does show that. I think it's 5 degrees closed of path. Yeah, 5 degrees closed of path, but 2 degrees open to target, which it hit that shot that started to the right and drew back onto target. But it's a risk. Yeah, it's a big risk.
Whenever you get that much, say that much from the inside, the club face closure rate has to increase, or it's just going to be those big blocks.
Yeah, and that's that's the one I've seen. If I don't get it timing right, or I'm trying to guide it, I block it right, I miss it to the right.
So from a technical kind of standpoint, if Rick was one of my kind of lessons in here, you'd say work a little bit on the top of the backswing position just for consistency, more than anything, just to get a little bit more of a compact swing. But it's this point, as far as making a change within the ball flight, where it's really going to make a difference. Trying to get those hands, well, the club a little bit feeling like it's on the outside of the hands coming down and swinging almost towards the camera.
I think if I was to do that in the order, I would do it in the other order. I'd work on path first, because I think then I would hit these shots that would be much more neutral, but then fix the top of the backswing where straighten that left wrist out, go a little bit shorter, so that I don't have to then be open with the club face. I'd always do it in that order, because you can see a little bit of rotation of the club face there on the way through as well.
It's quite good on the through swing. Also, here, something I know you've kind of said you worked on about trying to limit the rotation of the body a little bit, rather than getting super turny.
Yeah.
Just a nice, steady, controlled body motion in there. Because I mean, you've got enough power. You don't. Obviously, it's always nice to hit it further, but you don't need to hit it further.
I think I've got plenty of power.
Yeah,
I don't. I genuinely, it's not after distance. I really am not. I'm very happy with the distance I hit the ball. I like that extension through the ball there. It looks very quiet at the moment, quieter than what it has been. Good rotation of the hips. I just get a little bit flat-footed.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean,
if you were to pull at GC2 again, I'm going to go with a bit of an idea here.
A bit of an idea.
Feel free to add as well.
You're going to go with an idea. Okay, hit me with the idea.
So again, because I would see myself as being a little bit more of a feel player when I try and make a swing change. I like to see the feel, but I like to see the numbers. Position for me is not so important. I don't care if I've got the ugliest swing in the world, as long as it's coming down in the right action on a consistent basis. So a feel for me, if I was to get that path a little bit straighter, I would get the body alignment further left. I'd get the idea that once I get to the top of the swing, I'm going to rotate outwards and across like Pete said towards the camera. Now at first I may hit more right shots because I think I'll still be quite open and still be open to path, and then once I've straightened that wrist up at the top, I think I'd hit much straighter shots. And one of the big things that would help to get that path more outside is less rotation on the backswing. Because we saw in the video, see how my knee comes in. Yeah. I get real rotation at the top of the backswing and I really struggle. So I would go a little bit shorter, swing across and towards the camera here on the left, and I reckon I can get my path to 0.0. And
that's when it comes to that kind of feeling like you're almost you're using a pitching swing.
Almost like a slicey pitch.
Which is
not a nice feeling.
No, and that's the thing. It
seems to work.
It's a very strange feeling to actually have to work with, but yeah, just keeping the lower half nice and steady, short backswing.
So we're going to go for a slicey pitch.
And hitting that slice, and just have a look what happens to the numbers here. Now, as you can tell by the ball flight there, which is
just a little bit
pretty damn straight with a slight draw.
I didn't catch it perfect. It'd be interesting to see how the numbers are. Sorry, it's a driver club head that comes up in a minute. Yeah, 3.8. Click on the next one up. Next one up.
Sorry.
Yeah. So you can see their path is now 3.8. So I've halved it. Path, club face, much more quieter.
1.7. So, I mean,
I didn't actually lose any distance there. By the way.
And think that's the thing, because I know you guys would have just seen on camera there, the backswing lengthwise was more than adequate. Turn was more than adequate because there's a little bit more control there. A path which is 3.8 from the inside with a face 1.7 closed, that's a lot more controllable than a 7 degree. I mean, bear in mind, it's pretty much half of where you were. Yeah. Now, I know that felt to you like you were swinging at the camera.
Unbelievable.
But in reality, we are still a little bit from the inside. So it's interesting stuff.
And what's good about you know, me and Pete discuss about our golf swings a lot, and I know what I need to work on. And I can hit that shot, I can. It's just finding that trust when I'm out on the course. I think once the new season really starts to kick in, I want to be able to have that trust straight away. But you know, this is a weird thing, and I don't think I've ever discussed this with you before. I actually like to, when I'm on the course and playing in competition, I quite like the fact of my swing being a little bit different to what it normally is.
Okay.
Sounds odd, that, doesn't it? But I like it to feel like it's a more controlled swing. So I think if I ever got really used to that swing, I don't know if it would stay controlled. I quite like the idea that it feels controlled. I'm going to get that one more. Let me get that even better. I can get to 0.00000. So shorter, and then rotate towards the camera on the way down.
Yeah, so that, pretty damn straight. Pitching next to your other one and rolling up next to your other one. So you're not going to get too much closer than that with two shots.
Give me good numbers. Yeah. Lower again. So basically, thanks Pete, you've cured me. Hallelujah!
A couple of points of difference there. So guys,
that's
serious, I always do. Right, that was really good. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Comment below, let us know what you think as always, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, and it looks like Rick's going to try and hit some more shots.
That was nice, how good are they? Thanks.
Thanks.
Easy.